and it may have room to get even louder. With just 18 suites, that's towards the bottom of the barrel in the SEC. However, the Board of Trustees met earlier today to decide if they want to add the first suite to the stadium since 2016. And they're putting the finishing touches on this beauty right here, but it's not done yet. Later this week, the Columbia Garden Club and Dominion Energy will put up over 1,000 ornaments and 13,000 lights in preparation for the Carol lighting on the 24th.
Yeah, guys, and while it's not too bad out here right now, not quite that slap you in your face when you walk out the door temperature, we're sitting at about 58 degrees, feels more like 53 with some wind chill. And after nearly 25 minutes of driving and almost $50, we're finally ready to play some golf, a hassle that most other SEC schools don't have to go through. The holiday season is also vital for small businesses who count on that extra revenue. So, what does the busiest time for spending and shopping look like for them? After hurricanes, storms, pretty much anything, you name it, ravaged through South Carolina, bringing a bad batch of weather over these last few weeks, it's nice to have a little bit of normalcy here. And while I'm standing under the state tree, the official tree of the holiday season arrived this morning to the governor's mansion in the form of these 5 Leland cypresses.
Westbrook 3.
Despite being illegal in South Carolina, some students have found it nearly impossible to avoid hearing about betting on sports.
5 or 6 times a day.
Every day at least, yeah.
Every day. At least 10 to 15 times a day.
Pretty often, every day. 10 to 100 times a day.
After a 2018 Supreme Court ruling paved the way for states to begin legalizing sports betting, young adults, especially college-aged males, have been exposed almost constantly.
South Carolina, I feel like I was surrounded by it a whole lot more because everyone I know pretty much sports gambles.
Which is interesting, considering the penalty for gambling in South Carolina could mean up to $500 or a month in jail.
Increased a lot with Fliff.
This is Fliff, a legal sportsbook in South Carolina that allows you to build up and take picks using coins instead of currency. One of its most popular features is the share feature, where friends can share and follow each other's bets. This social or group aspect is one of the reasons why sports gambling is so easy to start and difficult to stop.
We're having that anticipation and having those near wins, but we're also being reinforced with that social bonding. So even when we lose together.
That's only part of the story.
And then most gambling now is highly connected to advances in technology. So that's really going to affect how we market sport, changing it from the traditional get someone to sit down and watch a game in its entirety to fragmentation of consumption.
It's those same reasons why companies like FanDuel or DraftKings have been so effective in their marketing.
Is gambling lends itself to immediacy of purchase. And that consumer that's seeing that advertisement very easily, in many cases, will pull out their phone, pull out their tablet, and actually engage and make a purchase.
Look no further than North Carolina for proof. Since legalizing sports gambling in March of 2024, almost $3 billion have been wagered. Governor Henry McMaster has been outspoken against gambling, but North Carolina's financial success could soon change that. The odds for sports betting in South Carolina are only getting shorter. In Columbia, Jackson Green, Carolina News. Yeah, thanks, Bill. With Thanksgiving less than a week away, we're entering the prime of the holiday shopping season. Big retailers like Walmart and Target are preparing themselves for massive consumer spending, offering more deals than ever, earlier than ever. The holiday season is also vital for small businesses who count on that extra revenue. So, what does the busiest time for spending and shopping look like for them?
We go from having way too many shoes to having not enough shoes.
Yeah. For Bryce High, general manager of Cola Kicks, the holiday season marks the most important stretch for business.
It's a whole nother level.
But with big-time retailers offering massive discounts, setting yourself apart is key in order for local shops to attract customers.
If you're coming up with like 3-4 shoes, like who's not to say I take off $100 off of your purchase and then give you a coupon on top of that and be like, just come back to see me.
Deals aren't the only thing they have to offer, though.
There's like a different type of connection here. We have a lot of regular customers that know us by name,
And while bigger retailers can be quite the Grinch to shop from during the holidays, stores like Cola Kicks offer competitive advantages the big stores don't, like these Grinches right here.
Our selection is better than Foot Locker and Champs.
More options and the ability to be personal is a theme apparent in most small businesses, including Carly Thornton and Panner Pete Vintage.
Do you get the experience and the personability that you might not get from Target?
And unlike Target, shops like Panner Pete offer unique gifts.
Oh, that's something that not everybody and their mom has.
That combination is what keeps people coming back and is the core to why small businesses continue to shine, despite residing under the long shadow cast by major retailers.
Small businesses become big businesses just by the people that actually come in, the consumers.
And with Black Friday and Small Business Saturday right around the corner, Columbia's small businesses will be seeing a lot more of those consumers. You can support these stores and the community by shopping small on November 30th. You may even pick up a cool gift for mom or dad. Live in the newsroom, I'm Jackson Green. Back to you guys. The holiday season kicked off today with the arrival of South Carolina's Christmas tree, but it almost didn't happen.
We get it from a town in western North Carolina, and as you know, they were hit with a lot of devastation due to Hurricane Helene, and this tree survived.
Charlene Slaughter, Director of Communications for Experience Columbia SC, says this tree was one of just a few left at the Morgantown NC lot.
This tree is very, very extra special.
It's not just special in spirit either. This ain't your average sized tree.
It's a Norway spruce. It's 35 feet. It is really big.
South Carolina grad Connor Mazer works for the appropriately named Timber Tech, who handled the tree movement for their 20th year today.
So Hurricane Helene has definitely thrown us for a loop, but we are really excited that we are still putting up this Christmas tree.
And that's got everyone in spirit, including Miss South Carolina.
emceeing this event has always been such a dream of mine. I love Christmas.
And while everyone is feeling merry and bright, the tree itself isn't just yet.
Later this week, the Columbia Garden Club and Dominion Energy will put up over 1,000 ornaments and 13,000 lights in preparation for the Carol Lighting on the 24th.
And it's at the Carol Lighting where Governor Henry McMaster will officially light up the Columbia sky with white and gold. The tree symbolizes more than just Christmas, though, for many.
When you go past that tree, you see it all lit up. Just know there is hope. It's about the Christmas season and what it brings to you.
While that may look different for each of us, there's a little bit extra Yuletide magic in Columbia today, in the form of a 35-foot-tall Norway spruce. In Columbia, Jackson Green, Carolina News.
Happy Halloween! Let's kick off the spookiest day of the year with some sports. USC men's basketball shook off the cobwebs last night, returning to action in an exhibition against the College of Worcester. It was the first look at this year's squad and the first look at several new faces. With Michie Johnson leaving for Ohio State, one of the main questions surrounding the team was guard play. Lamont Paris addressed those questions by nabbing consensus 4-star Cam Scott, along with the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference Player of the Year, Jamari Thomas. Scott was the #1 recruit in the state and should see big minutes as a freshman. He dropped 16, 6, and 3. Paris also brought in 2 transfer portal bigs in Jordan Butler and Nick Pringle. They'll join some of the core guys like Jacoby Wright, Miles Studi, and of course, star sophomore Colin Murray Boyles. CMB picked up right where he left off, dropping an easy 19 and 11 in limited minutes. The surprise of the night, though, was redshirt freshman Arden Conyers. After not playing last year, the 6'7" guard came off the bench and racked up 16 points. He caught fire in the second half, knocking down 4 of 5 threes. This is a talented squad and will be a fun watch this season. They started slow but took the dub 86-60 against Paris's alma mater. The Gamecocks start their season at home November 4th versus North Florida. And going over to some baseball, moving from baskets to the Bronx, the Yankees might be seeing ghosts as the Dodgers turn Yankee Stadium into their graveyard. Los Angeles clinched their second title this decade and 8th in franchise history. It certainly did not start that way, though, on Wednesday night. Behind a roaring home crowd and ace Garrett Cole, it looked like we were headed back to LA through 4. as the Yanks led 5 runs to none. Even Aaron Judge finally homered. New Yorkers had Empire State of Mind on cue until a nightmarish 5th inning. Behind a trifecta of errors, the Dodgers came alive, capitalizing on the Yankees' mistakes to tie things at 5. New York would retake the lead in the 6th, but it wasn't enough. The Dodgers kept their foot on the gas, putting enough pressure on the Yanks' bullpen to plate the tying and game-winning runs via sac fly. Walker Buehler came in relief, locked down the 9th, and struck out Alex Verdugo to end the game. The Dodgers took the game 7-6 and the series 4-1. And Freddie Freeman deservedly took home World Series MVP. Los Angeles is a city of champions once more. Yankees fans won't have to look too hard for a horror film tonight. Just watch Game 5 highlights. And as we go back to the Carolinas, the Hornets picked up a win last night at home against the Raptors. Charlotte moves to 2-2 on the young season following a shootout. Six-man contender of the year, Trey Mann dropped a team-high 27 points in the 138-133 win. Sticking in the Carolinas over in the NHL, the Hurricanes are back in Raleigh tonight following a 2-week road trip. The 6-2 Canes come in hot, winners of 4 straight. They'll put skates to ice against a Bruins team off to a slower start tonight at 7. And finally tonight, the 14th-ranked USC women's soccer team fell at home in their final regular season game. They lost last night 2-1 against 2nd-ranked Mississippi State. It was their first home loss of the year, and they'll now travel to Florida for the SEC tournament. The Gamecocks will take on the winner of Alabama versus Vanderbilt on November 5th. And that is a wrap on sports, now moving from athletes to the already dead. As the Ghostbusters say, now I ain't afraid of no ghosts, but are you? Just how many Americans say they believe in the supernatural? Stay close. Welcome back to Carolina News. Here's your rundown on sports. The 3rd-ranked Gamecock women's basketball team picked up another win last night over number 8 Duke. And while they were busy picking up another ranked dub, the athletic staff was busy picking up teddy bears? You heard me right. At last night's pajama-themed game, hundreds of fans threw teddy bears onto the court as part of the annual teddy bear toss. So we've got Gamecocks, Bears, and Blue Devils. How about a former Horned Frog? New athletic director Jeremiah Donati was in the building last night, introducing himself to the fans for the first time.
But we're going to do big things here together. It all starts with the fans. I just want to say thanks for having us, and go Gamecocks.
And as for the game itself, the Gamecocks were in the driver's seat. Duke would go on runs but could never get it closer than 8 points after the first quarter. Chloe Kitts starred, matching her jersey number and a career high with 21 points. And success hasn't just come on the hardwood, though, for Gamecock athletics. Key members of the football team were rewarded for their efforts this year by USA Today. Head coach Shane Beamer was chosen as the SEC Coach of the Year. Defensive stalwarts Kyle Kennard and Nick Emanwari both got the nod for SEC All-Conference. And as South Carolina had their football coach awarded, their northern rival in blue continued the search for a new one. It was reported yesterday that UNC football interviewed Bill Belichick for the open position. The 8-time Super Bowl winner has been out of coaching over the past year, but has ties to the program. His dad coached there in the 50s. North Carolina is coming off a 6-6 season and parted ways with longtime coach Mack Brown. And sticking in the Tar Heel State, both pro teams not named the Panthers were in action last night. If you paid attention to either team this year, well, the results shouldn't be all that surprising. The Hornets continued their rocky and injured start, falling again last night to the Knicks to lose their 7th straight. The 125-101 loss drops them to 6-16 on the young season. On the ice, though, it's been a different story. The Hurricanes ended a 3-game skid, winning at home 5-3 against the Avalanche. The win continued their strong start, pushing their record to 17-8-1 and 1 point back of first place in the Metro. Now, let's take it back to some college football. Let's get you prepared for Conference Championship weekend. 7 of the teams in this week's projected playoff bracket will play this weekend. One of the most pivotal games, though, takes place tonight. Boise State will rematch against UNLV at 8. They beat them in a thriller 29-24 when they squared off in October. Led by Heisman hopeful Ashton Jeanty, a win tonight would not only give Boise a playoff spot, but a first-round bye as well. A loss, though, would likely leave them out entirely. 2 more winner-take-all games take place tomorrow. At noon, Iowa State and Arizona State do battle to decide the Big 12. The victor will likely snag the 12th seed and final spot. And despite being ranked 17th, Clemson has found themselves in a win-and-in situation. A dub over SMU at 8 o'clock would sneak them into the postseason and win them the ACC. With the 11 seeds serving as the final at-large bid, an SMU loss would cause chaos and create debate around which bubble team gets in. Right now, it looks like it would be Alabama, but with no real path for South Carolina to make it. With other games like Georgia, Texas, and Penn State, Oregon, the rankings could look a lot different after this weekend. Here's a look now at my projections and what we could see come Sunday. The 12-team field will officially be set at the reveal show noon on ESPN. That's a wrap on sports, sending it back and signing off to the desk. Yeah, guys, and while it's not too bad out here right now, not quite that slap you in your face when you walk out the door temperature, we're sitting at about 58 degrees. Feels more like 53 with some wind chill. That's not going to hold for long, though. Tonight, we're going to see those temperatures drop as we reach the 11 mark, as we reach the 12 mark, especially after that sun sets. We're going to see them drop first into the 30s, then into the 20s, and it's only going to get colder. I'll have more on my full forecast coming up later tonight. Talk to you guys in a bit. And you may have to, but especially after tonight, we're at the top of that temperature roller coaster right now, but that baby is going to come crashing down once that sun sets. I'll have more tonight on what the rest of your night is going to look like. Come back right after the break. Stay close. Welcome back, guys. Let's talk some weather. So right now, we're sitting at 58 degrees, like I said, but some of those wind is keeping those temperatures down. Feels a little bit more like 53 degrees. That's still a lot better than it was yesterday. Yesterday, it was a lot colder. Today, it's a little bit more mild. You can see this on our chill meter. It's just sitting at about the halfway point. That's not going to stick around for long, though. We're going to see it climb back up towards the top, get a little bit chillier as we head into the night. Speaking of the night, let's talk about the temperatures. So you can see as we move on past that sunset, about just under 45 minutes, we're going to see it dip into the 30s and then all the way down into even the 20s. As you can see right here, a lot of people going out Thursday night. Well, it's going to be chilly. Make sure you bring some layers once we get past that midnight mark because it's going to dip under freezing. So let's zoom out a little bit. Let's take a look at the state, and you can see temperatures kind of consistent throughout, but you can see a little bit colder in the upstate, maybe the opposite of what you would think. And as we get towards the coast, a little bit warmer temperatures. That's because the ocean holds a higher heat capacity, making it so on a clear day like today, it's going to be a little bit hotter compared to the rest of the inlets. So let's talk why it's so cold today. Well, a big part of it is going to be that wind. And as I mentioned, 15 miles per hour, it's going to be gusting from 25 to 30. You can see here right outside of the newsroom, trees blowing in the wind. It's a windy day, folks, but why is the wind happening? Let's get into some of the details. So as you can see right here next to me, you can see a lot of that wind is pushing in off of the Gulf of Mexico and coming up through Colombia, as well as some of that northeast winds up there by Chicago. They both kind of come to a head right through the Colombia location, the Carolinas, as they make their way towards the Atlantic. And that's not a bad spot because it's bringing in that wind directly to us. That's why we see it so high. You can see across the state similar as well. So taking a look now at our 5-day forecast, you can see that these Friday, Saturday, kind of the weekend looks very similar to what we've been accustomed to recently. A lot of people attending SantaCon in 5 Points on Saturday. It's going to be cold. Again, bundle up, wear your Santa hat, make sure you're staying warm. But you can see we finally get a little bit of those warmer temperatures returning Monday, Tuesday, getting up into the 60s, even 70 on Tuesday. What else returns? The precipitation. It's going to maybe rain Monday and will rain on Tuesday. However, not quite cold enough to see some snow. Either way, happy holidays. That's all I have for you. And back to y'all in the studio. Let's get into the weather. I know you guys want one more look at what your weekend's going to look like. As I said, it's going to be a little bit cold this weekend, 47 degrees, 53 degrees. But as we head on in, it's just going to continue to go up and up. I know a lot of things coming up this weekend. SantaCon potentially traveling up for the ACC championship game in Charlotte. A lot taking place this weekend. Temperatures should be cold and then back up again. That's it for me. Back to y'all.